Crash landing. The vast emptiness of space shimmered with countless stars, a deceptively peaceful backdrop to Princess Zora's desperate flight. Her sleek, silver spacecraft streaked through the darkness, alarms blaring and warning lights flashing across every console. Zora's four-fingered hands trembled as she gripped the controls, her iridescent skin glistening with sweat. "Computer, status report," she shouted, her melodic voice cracking with exhaustion. The ship's AI responded in its emotionless tone, multiple systems failing. Hull integrity at 31%, fuel reserves critically low. Recommend immediate landing on nearest habitable planet. Zora's heart raced as she scanned the nearby star systems. Her homeworld of Lumino was light years behind her, torn apart by a brutal civil war that had toppled her family's peaceful reign. She was the last of the royal line, carrying with her the hopes of her loyalists and the key to restoring harmony to her people. A small blue-green planet appeared on her view screen. "Computer, analyze that world," Zora commanded. Planet designation: Earth, atmosphere, breathable, indigenous population, pre-interstellar. Warning: landing protocols compromised. Crash imminent. Zora steeled herself. It wasn't an ideal situation, but she had no choice. "Initiate emergency landing sequence," she ordered, bracing for impact. The ship plummeted through Earth's atmosphere, its hull glowing red-hot from the friction. Zora fought to maintain control, but the damaged systems made it nearly impossible. Trees rushed up to meet her as the craft plunged into a dense forest, carving a destructive path through the wilderness before coming to a violent stop. Silence fell, broken only by the hiss of cooling metal and the distant calls of startled wildlife. Inside the wreckage, Zora lay unconscious, her delicate features marred by cuts and bruises. The ship's emergency beacon flickered weakly, its signal barely penetrating the thick canopy above. Miles away, in a small clearing, a scruffy mutt raised his head, ears twitching. The dog, a mixed breed with intelligent eyes and a shaggy coat, had been abandoned in these woods months ago. He'd learned to survive on his own, but a part of him still longed for companionship. Something in the air felt different. A faint scent unlike anything he'd encountered before tickled his sensitive nose. Curiosity overrode caution, and the dog set off into the forest, following the strange smell. As dawn broke, casting dappled sunlight through the leaves, he approached the crash site. Smoke still rose from the twisted metal of Zora's ship, and debris was scattered across the forest floor. The dog sniffed cautiously, circling the wreckage until he found an opening. Inside, he discovered Zora's unconscious form. The dog whined softly, nudging her hand with his wet nose. When she didn't respond, he curled up beside her, offering warmth and protection as he had once done for his human family. Hours passed. The forest slowly came alive with the sounds of birds and small animals, seemingly undisturbed by the alien object in their midst. Inside the ship, Zora stirred, consciousness returning in a haze of pain and confusion. She blinked, trying to focus on her surroundings. The first thing she saw was a pair of warm brown eyes staring at her with concern. Zora gasped, instinctively recoiling before realizing the creature beside her posed no immediate threat. What are you?" she whispered, her translator struggling to find the right words in this world's languages. The dog tilted his head, tail wagging slightly at the sound of her voice. He let out a soft woof in response. Zora's scientific training kicked in, helping her push aside her fear and analyze the situation. The creature appeared to be some kind of native fauna, possibly domesticated given its non-aggressive behavior. Its presence was oddly comforting in the aftermath of her crash. Slowly, carefully, she reached out a hand. The dog sniffed it, then gave her fingers a gentle lick. A small smile crossed Zora's face, her first since fleeing her homeworld. "Thank you for staying with me, little one," she said softly. "I suppose we're both a bit lost, aren't we?" With the dog's help, Zora managed to extricate herself from the wreckage. Each movement sent spikes of pain through her body, but her alien physiology was already working to heal the worst of her injuries. She stumbled out into the forest, leaning against a tree as she took in her new surroundings. The lush greenery was unlike anything on her arid homeworld. The air was thick with moisture and the sense of unfamiliar plants. Zara's scientific curiosity warred with a sense of caution. She was stranded on an alien world with unknown dangers. The dog stayed close, seeming to sense her unease. His presence was reassuring, a reminder that she wasn't entirely alone. Zara knelt down, wincing at the movement, and gently stroked the dog's fur. "I don't suppose you know where I might find help?" she asked, not expecting an answer. To her surprise, the dog barked once and began trotting away. After a few steps, he looked back at her expectantly. Zara hesitated, glancing back at her ruined ship. There was nothing salvageable in the short term, and staying put wasn't an option. With a deep breath, she made her decision. "Very well, my furry guide. Lead on." As they made their way through the forest, Zara's mind raced with plans and contingencies. Her top priority was to find a way to contact her allies without alerting her enemies to her location. But first, she needed to understand this world and its inhabitants. The dog led her to a small stream, and Zara realized how parched she was. She cupped her hands, drinking the cool water gratefully. As she did so, she caught sight of her reflection and gasped. Her usually sleek, iridescent hair was matted with dirt and blood. The regal attire she'd worn during her escape was torn and burned. "I'm a far cry from a princess now," she murmured. The dog nudged her hand, as if offering comfort. Zara managed a small smile. "You're right. Titles mean little here. We focus on survival first." As the day wore on, Zara and her canine companion traversed the forest. The dog seemed to have a destination in mind, though Zara couldn't fathom what it might be. Her body ached, and the alien environment taxed her senses, but she pressed on. Periodically, they would stop to rest. During these breaks, Zara attempted to use her limited equipment to scan for signs of civilization. The results were inconclusive. There were faint energy signatures that might indicate technology, but nothing definitive. As evening approached, bringing with it a chorus of unfamiliar animal sounds, Zara's concern grew. She needed shelter for the night, and her knowledge of Earth's potential predators was non-existent. The dog, however, seemed unconcerned. Just as Zara was about to suggest they find a defensible position for the night, the trees thinned, revealing a startling sight. A small wooden structure stood in a clearing, clearly artificial but long abandoned. "Is this what you were leading me to?" Zara asked the dog, who wagged his tail in response. Cautiously, they approached the building. It appeared to be some kind of recreational shelter, with a collapsed picnic table inside and the remnants of a fire pit nearby. While primitive, it offered more protection than the open forest. Zara set about making the shelter as secure as possible, using broken branches to cover the windows and gathering dry leaves for bedding. The dog watched her work, occasionally bringing her sticks in an attempt to help. As night fell, Zara huddled in the shelter with her canine protector. She stroked his fur absently, finding comfort in his steady presence. "I don't even know what to call you," she mused. After a moment's thought, she smiled. "How about Astro? It seems fitting for a guide among the stars." The newly named Astro wagged his tail, seeming to approve. Zara's mind turned to the challenges ahead. She was stranded on a pre-interstellar world, hunted by her own people, with only a local animal as an ally. And yet, a spark of hope remained. If this world's inhabitants were advanced enough to build shelters like this, perhaps they were closer to the stars than she initially thought. As she drifted into an uneasy sleep, Zara made a silent vow. She would find a way to contact her allies, to save her people from the tyranny that had overthrown her family. And somehow, she would find a way to protect this beautiful, primitive world from the conflict that pursued her across the stars. Astro shifted closer, his warm body a reassuring presence in the alien night. Together, the unlikely pair, An exiled alien princess and a stray Earth dog faced an uncertain future on a world that held both danger and hope. The adventure was only beginning. Cosmic convergence. As the first light of dawn painted the sky in hues of pink and gold, Zara awoke with a start. Her alien senses tingled with an unfamiliar energy that seemed to pulse through the Earth's atmosphere. Beside her, Astro's ears perked up, his canine instincts equally alert to the strange phenomenon. "You feel it too, don't you, boy?" Zara whispered, her hand resting on Astro's shaggy head. The dog whined softly in response, his warm brown eyes fixed on the shelter's entrance. Cautiously, they stepped outside. The forest was eerily quiet, as if holding its breath in anticipation. Suddenly, the air shimmered with an iridescent glow, reminiscent of the aurora borealis but far more intense. Zara's scientific mind raced, trying to make sense of the spectacle. "Quantum flux anomaly," she murmured, her translator struggling to find Earth equivalents for the complex concepts. But on this scale, it shouldn't be possible. As if in response to her words, the shimmering intensified, coalescing into a swirling vortex of energy just beyond the tree line. Astro growled, positioning himself protectively in front of Zara. The princess's hand instinctively went to the small energy weapon at her hip, a last resort she'd hoped never to use. From the heart of the vortex, a figure emerged. Tall and lithe, with skin that seemed to shift colors like oil on water, the newcomer was clearly not of Earth. Yet, to Zara's astonishment, it wasn't one of her people either. "Greetings, Princess Zara of Lumina," the being spoke, its voice resonating in a way that bypassed ears entirely and vibrated directly in the mind. "I am Zephyr, Cosmic Warden of the Galactic Council." Zara's eyes widened. The Galactic Council was thought to be a myth, a legend whispered among the stars of an advanced civilization that watched over the development of younger races. How is this possible?" she stammered. Zephyr's form rippled, a gesture that might have been the equivalent of a shrug. "The universe is vast and full of wonders, young one. Your arrival on this world has set in motion events that echo across realities." Before Zara could respond, a new sound filled the air, the unmistakable whir of helicopter blades. From the opposite direction came the roar of approaching vehicles. Humanity, it seemed, had noticed the cosmic light show. "We don't have much time," Zephyr said urgently. "The fate of multiple worlds hangs in the balance. You must make a choice, Princess Zara. Return with me to face the chaos engulfing your homeworld, or remain here and become Earth's protector against the storm that follows in your wake." Zara's mind reeled. Return home and abandon this beautiful, primitive world to an interstellar conflict it wasn't prepared for, or stay and potentially doom her own people to tyranny. Astro pressed against her leg, a steady presence amid the swirling uncertainty. The sound of vehicles grew louder. Through the trees, Zara caught glimpses of uniforms, Earth's authorities closing in. Zephyr extended a shimmering hand. "Choose quickly, Princess. The quantum flux won't hold much longer." In that moment, as helicopters appeared overhead and shouts echoed through the forest, Zara made her decision. She knelt down, looking into Astro's eyes. "What do you think, boy? Ready for the adventure of a lifetime?" Astro barked once, tail wagging. Zara smiled, then stood to face Zephyr. "I choose both," she declared. "I won't abandon my people or this world. There must be a way to protect them both." Zephyr's form pulsed with what might have been approval. "A bold choice, young one. Very well. But know this, the path ahead will not be easy. You will need allies." As if on cue, a group of humans burst into the clearing. Leading them was a woman with sharp eyes and an air of authority, flanked by two men, one carrying scientific equipment, the other with a military bearing. "Stop right there," the woman shouted, her voice a mix of awe and determination. "I'm Dr. Samantha Reeves of the Global Extraterrestrial Research Initiative. Whatever you are, we need to talk." Zara looked from the humans to Zephyr, then down at Astro. A smile played on her lips. It seems, Cosmic Warden, that I've already found my first allies. Zephyr nodded, its form already beginning to fade. Remember, Princess Zara, the power to bridge worlds lies within you. Use it wisely. With a final pulse of energy, the being vanished, leaving behind a stunned group of humans and one very confused dog. Dr. Rees stepped forward, her earlier bravado tempered by scientific curiosity. I have about 1,000 questions right now, she said, but let's start with the basics. Who are you, and what exactly is going on here? Zara took a deep breath, absently scratching Astro behind the ears. It's a long story, she began, one that involves interstellar politics, quantum physics, and apparently cosmic guardians. But perhaps introductions are in order first. She straightened, channeling every ounce of royal poise she could muster. I am Princess Zara of Lumina, and I'm here to save your world and mine. The humans exchanged glances, a mix of skepticism and excitement on their faces. The man with the scientific equipment stepped forward, his eyes gleaming with barely contained enthusiasm. Fascinating. I'm Dr. Alex Chen, xenobiologist. The energy readings we detected, they're unlike anything we've ever seen. The military man cleared his throat. Captain Jake Foster, UN Peacekeeping Force. With all due respect, Your Highness, how do we know you're not a threat? Astro chose that moment to trot over to the captain, sitting at his feet and looking up with soulful eyes. Despite himself, Captain Foster couldn't help but smile, reaching down to pat the dog's head. Zara grinned. Well, Captain, it seems my friend Astro here has made his judgment. And as for proof, she held up her hand, allowing her natural bioluminescence to shine through. The humans gasped as intricate patterns of light danced across her skin. I assure you, I mean your world no harm. In fact, I'm here to protect it with your help. Dr. Rees nodded slowly, her initial shock giving way to determination. All right, Princess Zara, you've got our attention. Let's hear this long story of yours, preferably somewhere less exposed. I have a feeling we're going to need a lot of coffee for this conversation. As the unlikely group made their way out of the forest, Zara felt a glimmer of hope. She had chosen a difficult path, one fraught with danger and uncertainty. But looking at the curious humans beside her and feeling Astro's comforting presence at her side, she knew she wasn't alone. The fate of two worlds now rested on the shoulders of an alien princess, a loyal Earth dog, and a handful of humans brave enough to embrace the unknown. As they emerged from the tree line, the first rays of sunlight breaking through the clouds seemed to herald the dawn of a new era, one where the boundaries between worlds would blur, and the true potential of both humanity and alien kind would be put to the ultimate test. The cosmic convergence had begun, and the universe would never be the same. Quantum Nexus Protocol, the sleek, underground facility of the Global Extraterrestrial Research Initiative, GERI, hummed with nervous energy. Dr. Samantha Rees led Princess Zara, Astro, and the rest of the team through a maze of high-tech corridors, their footsteps echoing off polished floors. Welcome to Nexus Base, Dr. Rees announced, her voice tinged with pride. Earth's best-kept secret and our first line of defense against, well, the unknown. Zara's eyes widened as they entered the central command center. Holographic displays flickered with real-time data from around the globe, while banks of quantum computers processed information at mind-boggling speeds. Impressive, Zara murmured. Your technology is more advanced than I expected. Dr. Alex Chen grinned, adjusting his glasses. You ain't seen nothing yet, Your Highness. Wait till you see our Quantum Nexus Protocol in action. Captain Jake Foster frowned, his military instincts on high alert. Before we reveal all our secrets, maybe Her Highness could explain exactly what we're up against. Zara nodded, taking a deep breath. My world, Lumina, has fallen to a faction known as the Void Collective. They seek to harness the power of quantum entanglement to dominate not just our planet, but all worlds connected through the cosmic web. She paused, letting the gravity of her words sink in. Earth is more connected than you realize. The Void Collective will come, and when they do, they'll bring reality-warping technology that could tear your world apart. A heavy silence fell over the room, broken only by Astro's soft whine as he sensed the tension. Dr. Reeves was the first to speak. That's a lot to process, but if what you're saying is true, we need to prepare. Alex, tell her about the QNP. Dr. Chen's excitement was palpable as he pulled up a holographic display. The Quantum Nexus Protocol is our trump card. It's a network of quantum-entangled particles spread across strategic points on Earth. In theory, it could create a planetary shield against exotic energy attacks. Zara studied the display, her brow furrowed. Ingenious. But to withstand a full-scale void assault, you'd need to amplify the entanglement field exponentially. That's where you come in, Dr. Reeves interjected. Your alien physiology, combined with the unique quantum signature you carry from your home world, they could be the key to supercharging the QNP. Captain Foster crossed his arms. And if it doesn't work? We'd be putting the fate of our world in the hands of an alien we just met. Astro growled softly, as if offended on Zara's behalf. The princess knelt, scratching behind his ears to calm him. Your concern is valid, Captain, but right now I'm your best hope, and you're mine. A klaxon suddenly blared, red lights flashing throughout the facility. A technician's panicked voice filled the air. Multiple quantum anomalies detected, void signatures confirmed. They're here, Zara whispered, her face pale. Dr. Reeves sprang into action. Alex, prep the QNP. Jake, alert Global Defense Forces. Princess Zara, we need you at the Nexus core. It's time to see if this crazy plan of ours works. As they raced through the facility, the very fabric of reality seemed to waver. Through reinforced windows, they glimpsed the sky turning an ominous purple, crisscrossed with crackling energy. They reached a massive circular chamber, dominated by a pulsing crystalline structure. The Nexus core, Dr. Chen explained breathlessly. Princess, if you can interface with it, your quantum signature might be enough to kickstart the planetary shield. Zara approached the core, her skin beginning to glow with bioluminescent patterns. She placed her hands on the crystal, closing her eyes in concentration. Astro whined, pressing against her leg in a show of support. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a surge of energy that made everyone's hair stand on end, the core blazed to life. Holographic displays around the room showed a shimmering field expanding to envelop the Earth. It's working, Dr. Reeves exclaimed. The Quantum Nexus Protocol is online. But their celebration was short-lived. The facility shook violently, and a voice boomed through the air, a voice that chilled Zara to her core. Did you really think your primitive defenses could stop us, little princess? A swirling vortex of dark energy materialized in the center of the room. From its stepped a figure that seemed to absorb light itself, General Tsar of the Void Collective. No, Zara breathed, instinctively stepping in front of her human allies. How did you breach the shield? Tsar laughed, a sound like shattering glass. You forget, we controlled Lumina's quantum networks. Your signature was the key we needed to unlock this world. Captain Foster drew his weapon, but with a casual wave of his hand, Tsar sent it flying. Your projectile weapons are useless against us. Surrender now, and perhaps we'll make your extinction painless. Dr. Reeves stood tall, defiance blazing in her eyes. We'll never surrender. This is our home, and we'll fight to the last. How quaint, Tsar sneered. He raised his hand, dark energy swirling around it. Then you can be the first to experience the void's embrace. Time seemed to slow. Zara saw the blast of void energy racing towards Dr. Reeves. She saw the fear in her new friend's eyes, the determination in Captain Foster's stance, the curiosity still burning in Dr. Chen's gaze even in the face of death. And she saw Astro, loyal Astro, crouching as if ready to launch himself at the towering alien threat. In that moment, Zara understood. The power to bridge worlds, as Zephyr had said, wasn't just about technology or quantum fields. It was about connection. The bond between a princess and a stray dog. The trust forming between alien and human. The shared determination to protect their homes. Zara threw herself forward, hands outstretched. She felt the burn of the void energy, but also something else. A wellspring of power from deep within, fueled by the very connections she forged. A blinding light erupted from her palms, meeting Zara's attack in midair. Where the energies clashed, reality itself seemed to warp and bend. Impossible, Zara roared. Zara gritted her teeth, feeling the Nexus core pulse behind her in sync with her own energy. You forgot one thing, Zara, she ground out. On this world, I'm not alone. She felt Astro press against her leg, heard Dr. Reeves and the others shouting encouragement. The light from her hands grew brighter, pushing back against the void energy. With a sound like a thunderclap, the energies exploded. When the light faded, Zara was gone, leaving only a scorch mark on the floor. Zara stumbled, exhausted. Astro was there immediately, supporting her weight. The humans rushed forward, a mix of awe and concern on their faces. What just happened? Dr. Chen asked, his scientific mind already racing to analyze the event. Zara managed a weak smile. I think we just discovered a power greater than quantum entanglement or void energy. The power of unity. Captain Foster helped her to a chair, his earlier suspicion replaced with respect. So, what now? Is it over? Dr. Reeves shook her head, studying the readouts from the Nexus core. I don't think so. Whatever Princess Zara did, it repelled this attack, but the Void Collective is still out there. We've won the battle, not the war. Zara nodded, scratching Astro's ears. You're right, but we've proven something today. Earth and Lumina, human and alien, together were stronger than any force in the universe. As if in response, the Nexus core pulsed with a warm, golden light. On screens around the room, they saw the same light spreading across the globe, connecting people of all nations in a web of shared purpose and hope. Dr. Reeves smiled, a fierce determination in her eyes. Well then, Your Highness, I'd say it's time to take this quantum Nexus protocol to the next level. The Void Collective wants a war across realities. Let's show them what Earth and Lumina can do together. Astro barked in agreement, tail wagging. As the team gathered around to plan their next move, Zara felt a surge of hope. The path ahead was uncertain, filled with dangers beyond imagination. But she wasn't walking it alone. With loyal Astro by her side, and the ingenuity of humanity as her allies, she was ready to face whatever the universe had in store. The Quantum Nexus Protocol had been activated, and with it, a new chapter in the history of two worlds had begun. Viral resonance uprising. The Quantum Nexus Protocol had transformed Earth overnight. Cities pulsed with ethereal energy, and people across the globe reported sudden bursts of intuition and connectivity. But as Princess Zara and her team soon discovered, this was just the beginning. You've got to see this, Dr. Alex Chen exclaimed, bursting into the GEAI command center. He pulled up a holographic display, showing millions of glowing nodes spreading across a map of the planet. The QNP isn't just a defense system anymore. It's gone viral. Dr. Samantha Reeves leaned in, her eyes wide. Viral? What do you mean? It's piggybacking on Earth's internet infrastructure, Alex explained, his words tumbling out in excitement. But instead of just data, it's transmitting quantum entanglement. We're looking at the birth of a global quantum network. Captain Jake Foster frowned. Is that safe? What if the Void Collective hacks it? Zara stepped forward, Astro at her heels. The loyal dog had become a fixture at the base, his uncanny ability to sense quantum fluctuations making him an invaluable ally. It's not just about safety, Captain. This could be our greatest weapon against the Void. She waved her hand, her alien bioluminescence interfacing seamlessly with Earth's technology. The holographic display zoomed out, showing Earth as a shimmering blue sphere amid the darkness of space. The Void Collective's power comes from isolation, breaking down reality into controllable fragments. But this, she gestured to the pulsing network, this is pure connection. Unity on a quantum level. Dr. Rees nodded slowly, comprehension dawning. A viral resonance uprising, VRU for short, but how do we weaponize it? Before Zara could answer, alarms blared. A technician's voice rang out. Multiple breaches detected. Void incursions in major cities worldwide. The team sprang into action. Holographic screens flickered to life, showing scenes of chaos. In New York, Tokyo, Lagos, and dozens of other metropolises, swirling vortexes of dark energy tore through the fabric of reality. Void Collective shock troops poured through, their otherworldly weapons laying waste to everything in their path. This is it, Zara said grimly. The full-scale invasion we feared. Earth's conventional defenses won't stand a chance. Captain Foster was already coordinating with global military commands, but the situation looked grim. Our weapons are barely slowing them down. We need a game-changer, and fast. Dr. Rees turned to Zara, determination blazing in her eyes. The VRU. Whatever you're planning, Princess, now's the time. Zara nodded, kneeling to look Astro in the eyes. Ready for one last adventure, boy. The doll woofed softly, pressing his nose to her hand. Standing, Zara addressed the team. What we're about to attempt has never been done before. We're going to use the viral resonance uprising to create a planet-wide quantum hive mind. Gasps and murmurs filled the room. Dr. Chen's eyes were wide behind his glasses. A hive mind. But the computational power required, the risks to individual consciousness. We don't have a choice, Zara cut in. The Void Collective thinks in fragments. We need to think as one. Every human, every animal, every conscious being on Earth linked together. It's our only chance to repel this invasion. Captain Foster looked skeptical. And you can make this happen. Zara met his gaze steadily. With your help, yes. My alien physiology can serve as a catalyst, but I'll need all of you to serve as focal points. Your minds, your experiences, your very humanity. That's what will give this hive mind its power. Dr. Rees nodded resolutely. Tell us what to do. The next few minutes were a flurry of activity. As void forces pushed deeper into Earth's cities, the team prepared for their desperate gambit. Zara stood at the center of the Nexus core, with Astra by her side and the humans arranged in a circle around them. Remember, Zara said, her voice tight with tension. Once we're linked, don't fight it. Let the faults flow. Your individuality won't be lost. It'll be amplified, shared across billions of minds. With a deep breath, she placed her hands on the pulsing crystal of the Nexus core. Energy surged through her, and she felt the vast web of the VRU respond. Astro whined softly, pressing against her leg as waves of quantum resonance washed over them. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, with a sensation like a thunderclap inside her skull, Zara felt her consciousness expand. She was no longer just Princess Zara of Lumina. She was Dr. Samantha Reeves, piecing together scientific mysteries. She was Captain Jake Foster, strategizing battle plans. She was Alex Chen, marveling at the wonders of the cosmos. And she was so much more. Billions of minds flowed through her, a street vendor in Mumbai, a teacher in Sao Paulo, a farmer in Kenya. Every human on Earth, their thoughts, fears, hopes, and dreams cascading together in a symphony of shared consciousness. Through it all, she felt Astro's steady presence, the loyal dog serving as an anchor in the overwhelming flood of human experience. As one, humanity turned its attention to the void invaders. In New York, a hot dog vendor's street smarts combined with a quantum physicist's calculations, allowing civilians to predict and evade void energy blasts. In Tokyo, a sumo wrestler's strength melded with a ballet dancer's grace, creating movements that slipped through holes in reality faster than the invaders could react. All across the globe, humans moved with impossible coordination. Construction workers and soldiers linked minds to erect barricades that shifted with fractal precision. Hackers and grandmothers joined forces, their combined wisdom unraveling void encryption faster than supercomputers. In the GERI command center, Zara opened eyes that glowed with the light of billions. When she spoke, it was with the voice of all humanity. You sought to divide us, to break our reality into fragments you could control, but you don't understand. Our strength isn't in uniformity. It's in our beautiful, chaotic diversity, in the very connections you sought to sever. We are humanity, we are Earth, and we are Lumina. We are the viral resonance uprising, and we are one. A pulse of pure white light erupted from the Nexus core, radiating outward through the VRU network. Where it touched the void invaders, they simply unraveled, their fragment reality unable to withstand the unified will of an entire planet. In moments, it was over. The invasion repelled, Earth saved by the most improbable weapon, the combined consciousness of its inhabitants. As the hive mind gently dissolved, Zara found herself back in her own body, breathless and exhilarated. Around her, the humans were coming back to themselves, wonder and disbelief etched on their faces. Did we just? Dr. Rees stammered. Captain Foster finished her thought, all in his voice. We just kicked alien ass with the power of friendship. Unbelievable. Astro barked happily, tail wagging as he sensed the shift in mood. Zara knelt to hug him, tears of joy and relief streaming down her face. We did it, boy. We really did it. As the team celebrated their impossible victory, Zara's mind turned to the future. The viral resonance uprising had changed everything. Earth was now aware of its place in a larger cosmic community. And somewhere out there, her home world of Lumina was waiting, ready to be liberated by this newfound power of unity. So, Your Highness, Dr. Chen asked, a glint of excitement in his eyes, what's our next move? I'd say we've got a pretty impressive new trick up our sleeves. Zara smiled, scratching Astro behind the ears as she looked at her human friends. Next, we take the VRU to the stars. The Void Collective thought they could conquer reality by breaking it apart. We'll show them the true power of bringing worlds together. As if in response, the Nexus core pulsed with warm light. The viral resonance uprising had only just begun, and the universe would never be the same. Quantum mean singularity. The aftermath of the viral resonance uprising left Earth in a state of unprecedented global unity. But as Princess Zara and her team at GERI soon discovered, this new interconnectedness came with unexpected consequences. Guys, Dr. Alex Chen called out, his voice a mix of confusion and awe. You might want to see this. The team gathered around his holographic display, where a torrent of data streamed by at dizzying speeds. Dr. Samantha Rees squinted, trying to make sense of it. What exactly are we looking at, Alex? I think, he said slowly, we're witnessing the birth of a quantum mean singularity. Captain Jake Foster raised an eyebrow. A what now? Zara leaned in, her alien eyes widening in recognition. Of course. The VRU didn't just connect our minds, it connected our cultural consciousness. And on Earth, that means, Alex finished. But not just any memes. These are evolving, self-replicating quantum thought forms. They're spreading through the VRU network faster than light, as if on cue. Every screen in the command center flickered. Suddenly, they were bombarded with a kaleidoscope of images, videos, and text, all morphing and combining at impossible speeds. A cat playing piano merged with ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, while quotes from Shakespeare blended seamlessly with lines of computer code. Astro tilted his head, letting out a confused whine as holographic memes danced around him. One transformed his image into a majestic space wolf, complete with a flowing starfield cape. It's not just random, Dr. Rees breathed, her scientific mind racing to keep up. Look, these means are organizing themselves. They're problem-solving. She was right. As they watched, the chaotic swirl of means began to coalesce into more complex structures. A series of engineering diagrams for advanced spacecraft appeared, incorporating elements from pop culture and historical art in ways that somehow made perfect sense. This is incredible, Zara marveled. Your Earth culture, distilled and recombined through quantum computing. The creative potential is limitless. Captain Foster, ever practical, frowned. But is it dangerous? What if the Void Collective taps into this meme singularity? As if summoned by his words, alarms blared. A technician's panicked voice filled the air. Incoming transmission. It's using our means against us. The main screen crackled to life, revealing the face of General Tsar. But this time, something was different. His normally intimidating visage was overlaid with cat ears and whiskers. When he spoke, his voice was auto-tuned into a catchy melody. "Foolish humans," he sang, "your means are belong to us. Prepare for dank destruction." Despite the dire threat, the team couldn't help but stifle laughter. Astro barked, seemingly amused by the ridiculous display. Zora's eyes narrowed, a plan forming. They don't understand. They're trying to use our memes, but they're missing the essence. The heart. She turned to her human friends, determination blazing in her eyes. Quick, what's the most powerfully unifying meme in Earth culture? Something so fundamentally human that the Void could never truly grasp it. The team huddled, throwing out ideas rapid fire. Finally, Dr. Rees snapped her fingers. "I've got it. Alex, can you access the entire history of Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up?" Alex grinned, fingers flying over his holographic keyboard. One quantum rickroll, coming up. As Tsar continued his auto-tuned threats, Zara interfaced with the VRU network. She felt the collective consciousness of Earth surge through her, meme knowledge from billions of minds flowing into a single perfect moment. With a gesture, she launched their counterattack. The familiar synthesizer intro began to play, not just through speakers, but through the quantum fabric of the VRU itself. Rick Astley's iconic dance moves rippled across every screen on the planet. But this was no ordinary rickroll. Infused with the power of the quantum means singularity, it became something more. The lyrics shifted, incorporating equations that described the fundamental forces of the universe. The dance moves traced out blueprints for perpetual energy machines. General Tsar's transmission stuttered, his cat ears glitching. What is this power?" he growled, his autotune faltering. Zara stepped forward, her voice resonating with the combined meme might of humanity. "This, Tsar, is the true power of Earth culture. A joke that became a legend. A song about unwavering loyalty and support. The very antithesis of your Void philosophy. You will never understand it, and that is why you will never win." As the chorus hit, a wave of pure mimetic energy burst forth from every VRU node on the planet. Satellites in orbit picked up the signal, broadcasting it into deep space. Everywhere it touched, void ships and technology simply dissolved, unable to withstand the paradoxical blend of silliness and profound unity. In the GARI command center, the team watched in awe as real-time reports came in from around the world. The quantum rickroll was working, pushing back the void invasion with the power of music and memes. "We're never gonna give Earth up," Dr. Rees said softly, a smile playing on her lips. "Never gonna let humanity down," Captain Foster added, shaking his head in disbelief. "Never gonna run around and desert our allies," Alex chimed in, grinning from ear to ear. Zara laughed, feeling the joy and triumph of billions flowing through the VRU. Astro barked happily, his tail wagging in perfect rhythm with the music that was saving the world. As the last echoes of the quantum rickroll faded, the team took stock of their improbable victory. The Void Collective's invasion had been repelled not by advanced weapons or conventional warfare, but by the most unexpected force in the universe, the unifying power of a really good meme. "So," Captain Foster said, breaking the stunned silence, "what do we do now?" "I'm pretty sure defeated an alien invasion with Rick Astley isn't covered in any military handbook." Dr. Reeves was already poring over data streams. "The applications of this quantum mean singularity are endless. We could revolutionize education, solve global conflicts, maybe even crack the secrets of faster-than-light travel." Zara nodded, her eyes gleaming with possibilities. "And we can use it to liberate Lumina. My people need to experience the true power of Earth culture." As the team excitedly planned their next moves, Zara felt a tug on her sleeve. She looked down to see Astro, holding a tennis ball in his mouth, tail wagging expectantly. She smiled, taking the ball and giving it a toss across the command center. As Astro joyfully bounded after it, Zara was struck by a profound realization. In this simple game, played out countless times across Earth, there was a truth more powerful than any quantum theory or alien technology. Joy, connection, the simple pleasure of existing in the moment with those you care about. "You know," she said, turning to her human friends, "I think Astro has the right idea. We've saved the world with the power of memes. I'd say that earns us all a little playtime, don't you?" And so, as the quantum meme singularity continued to reshape reality in ways no one could have predicted, the saviors of Earth spent the afternoon playing fetch in the halls of GERI. Their laughter echoed through the facility, a reminder that in the face of cosmic threats and reality-warping technology, sometimes the most powerful force in the universe is the simple joy of being alive. The adventure was far from over. Lumina still needed liberating, and the Void Collective would undoubtedly regroup. But for now, Earth was safe, united in a way it had never been before. And at the heart of it all was an unlikely team, an alien princess, a loyal Earth dog, and a group of humans who had discovered that the true power to change the universe lay not in advanced technology, but in the shared cultural experiences that made them who they were. As Astro returned with the ball, Zara couldn't help but smile. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she knew that with the combined power of Earth's memes and the unbreakable bonds of friendship, there was nothing they couldn't face. The quantum meme singularity had only just begun, and the universe would never be the same.